Welcome back, baseball fans. We are back to start a new decade, and hopefully it starts the way the last one did for us with the World Series championship, because the last 2 years have been rough, as we've had our two worst years in quite a while. So we'll see if a reinvigorated team can get this thing done this year. Before we look at everything that's going on, let's take a quick look at the Hall of Fame. Cal Ripken Jr. did finally get in his fifth year. Alan Trammell did as well in his ninth year, just in time. Tony Phillips, who had 2,000 hits in reality and 800 RBI, 1,300 runs, 44 WAR. Here he had a 116 WAR, 3,000 hits, 1,300 RBI. He is very close to getting in and probably will at that rate. He was .1 away. Lyman Bostock's in trouble to getting in. Jay Buhner didn't. Rod Beck, Hideo Nomo, Ishmael Valdez all missed out on it. So let's take a quick look at our career leaders now that we have started a new decade and see if there are any changes. When we look at single season batting, we do see some new records. We have walks, Barry Bonds, and strikeouts with 292. Mark Reynolds. That is an insane number. Career-wise in the batting category, we see Albert Pujols leading the way in slugging percentage, better than Bonds. Now, granted, a smaller size at the moment. Gehrig was his third. Vladimir Guerrero in fourth. Manny Ramirez is up there in sixth. Mark McGwire finished his career in fifth currently. So quite a difference there. Let's take a look at the games. Is there anybody up there going anywhere near for games played? It doesn't look like it, because the longevity is not going to be there the same way, I don't think, anymore. When we take a look at runs, it is Barry Bonds with 2,700, besting Mickey Mantle by 400. No one else. Well, actually, Larry Walker, who just re-signed with Minnesota here and will have another solid season probably, is in ninth. He's got a good shot to move all the way up to the top six, of not even the top five. Kenny Lofton, who is one of our new additions, he is sitting there in 24th. Hopefully, he'll pass the 2,000 run mark. Frank Thomas is up there as well, and apparently he is still going at the age of 41. Didn't play too much last season, though. Chipper Jones is up there. So the 2000s were very good for runs scored in totals, the 90s and 2000s. Clemente, still number one in hits. No one else is in the top 30. Larry Walker is 24th with 3,400. He, again, could see his way into the top 20 this season. When we look at total bases, it was Bonds setting a new record, barely besting Joe DiMaggio. Larry Walker, again, is up there in 11th. I would expect him to move into the top 10. We have no new ones here. Home runs, 926 is where Bonds finished. Manny Ramirez is currently at 627. Frank Thomas at 621. So the home run totals, after a little bit of a dip a few decades ago, have gone insane. Bonds with 2,600 RBI, besting Josh Gibson, while Larry Walker, again, is in 12th, might make his way into the top 10 this season. Frank Thomas is up there as well as Manny Ramirez, and David Justice is there in 28th. Stolen bases, it's still Ricky Henderson, and I don't see anybody. Kenny Lofton is in 12th. I hope he's going to move into the top 10 this season. And that's about it when it comes to stolen bases. Wins above replacement, still Willie Mays. Bonds got to fifth with 161. Currently, Larry Walker is sitting 23rd with 102, and no one else is anywhere close. Let's take a look at the single season pitching records. There is a new one in games pitched. Jonathan Buxton had 97, and that looks to be it. As far as career goes, saves, Trevor Hoffman is up there in 426, but he is slowed down immensely. Mariano Rivera is at 387. I would expect he's going to continue to hopefully do well and pass Lee Smith, ideally within 3 seasons. John Wetland's in 15th, Rob Nen in 13th, Billy Wagner in 12th. So there's a few names up there. Let's see, as far as there's no one else here. Complete games and shutouts, we know that's not going to happen. Strikeouts, though, Sandy Koufax with his 6,100. Clemens did finish in third, Johnson in fourth, both besting 4,000. John Smoltz, 3,600. Kurt Schilling, 3,500. Mike Messina still going, 3,459 at the moment. If he has another season, I would expect him to jump at least a couple more. And then that looks like that is all. Ben McDonald down here in 29th. When we take a look at wins, well, wait, where are our wins? I forgot to look at that. Cy Young, and we have the next closest is not going to be anybody, I'm guessing. Greg Maddux did get up to 307. Clemens, 329. Yeah, Schilling had 278. Interesting. And then we've got the wins above replacement. Clemens got the 4th with 127, nowhere close to what Koufax did. Greg Maddux got the 111. Mike Messina still pitching, 25th currently. Pedro Martinez got the 94th, and Randy Johnson 93. So no one is approaching any key records, it looks like, for this decade. So let's take a look at the new team that we've got. We've got Kenny Lofton leading off in left, Ichiro in right. Speed and contact and defense is what we're going there. Aramis Ramirez is going to be weak point at second. David Ortiz a weaker point at first, but his hitting should make up for it this season. Beltre's at third. Marlon Byrd is someone that we traded for, and we've got him, and we're hoping he'll have a solid season out there in center. We might move him to left and move Kenny Lofton back to center field, but we will see how that goes. Jimmy Rollins is at short, and Yachty is at catcher. We also have Damian Jackson backing up everybody in the infield and the outfield. And then we've got David Freese as well that can back up first. We're going to move Delman Young or Shannon Stewart. One of them will be moved to the minors because Marlon Byrd and Kenny Lofton are there, and I think they will be the better ones. Our rotation is going to be Chris Carpenter, Zach Greinke, Adam Wainwright, Tim Hudson, and Mark Burley is going to get a shot to start. I don't know if that's going to stay the same. Apparently, Mariano Rivera is not as good as Francisco Cordero. We're going to change that, though. Bartolo Colon is in here. LaTroy Hawkins, Arthur Rhodes, we re-signed. And Chris Sale, we are moving straight up into the major leagues to see how he can do for us. So hopefully this will be the team that can bring home at least another playoff appearance, but hopefully a World Series because we are running out of time to catch the Yankees. But speaking of the World Series, it was the Giants that won the 2010 World Series in real life against the Rangers in 5 games, while the MVP awards went to Josh Hamilton, who hit 359 that year, and Joey Votto, who slugged 600 that year. It was Felix Hernandez picking up the AL Cy Young, while Roy Halladay picked up the NL Cy Young, becoming the 5th pitcher to win in both leagues. Rookie of the Years went to Neftali Feliz, closing things out for the Rangers, and Buster Posey for the Giants, leading the way in the Rookie of the Year for the National League. We will see if any of those can repeat here, but we're going to hope the team can get things going, and let's jump to the All-Star break to see how everything goes. Well, this season's off to a maybe better start for us. We're sitting at 43 and 45. We were like 20 and 30 at one point, so we're starting to get a little momentum. But let's check out how Tampa Bay is at 49 and 39, 3.5 up over the Yankees. The Tigers sitting at 56 and 32, 8 up over the Royals. The Angels are 51 and 40, while the Royals are a half game up on the Mariners. The Phillies 54 and 35, 8.5 up over the Braves. The Pirates at 53 and 35, 6.5 up over the Astros, and the Rockies are 4 up over the Diamondbacks. The Astros have the lead in the wild card. We're only 3.5 games out of that one, so maybe there is hope. Meanwhile, the league leaders right now are Adrian Gonzalez hitting 365, Adam Dunn and Giancarlo Stanton with 23 home runs, Jim Thome in Minnesota hitting 302 and leading the league with 77 RBI at the age of 39. Ben Zobrist has 27 stolen bases. Gonzalez, Adrian does at 109.5 OPS. Zobrist with a 5.3 WAR. Angel Pagan has a 23-game hitting streak. Is it Angel Pagan or Angel Pagan? I think it's Angel Pagan. Jared Weaver, 2.57 ERA. Cole Hamels, Cliff Lee, and David Price all have 10 wins, while Roy Halladay has 115 strikeouts with his 8-7 record. Rafael Soriano with 28 saves, and Roy Halladay, along with Cliff Lee, have a 3-pitcher war. Ichiro is hitting 383, lighting things up, on pace for 99 runs and 143 hits. Jose Bautista has 23 home runs, while Corey Hart has 63 RBIs, barely better than Beltre, who's having an okay year for us. Suzuki has 30 stolen bases. Matt Holliday, the one who got away, is hitting 356 right now in a 105.1 OPS. 5.8 WAR. So, oops. Ichiro has 4.6 though. Evan Longoria has a 22-game hitting streak out in Colorado, while Steven Strasburg, right as a rookie, 10-3 record and a 2.04 ERA with 138 strikeouts. Josh Beckett, Marco Estrada, and CC Sabathia all have 10 wins, while Justin Verlander has 149 strikeouts, barely beating out Kershaw. Papelbon has 23 saves, and Zach Greinke with a 5.1 pitcher WAR, as he is 6-7 with a 2.83 ERA, only 27 walks. We are hoping this offense will this pitching will start to get going. The offense has struggled. We're hitting the ball, but we're not getting on base. And we're stealing bases, we're just not driving them in. As far as the base running goes, it's also atrocious. Runs against are up to 3rd now, which is fantastic for us. The defense is slightly better than last season, but still struggling, so we don't know what we're doing there. We have plenty of room for the future. We do have Chris Sale up in the bullpen, like I mentioned. Kind of gamed a little bit and got him to a 15-year contract at very cheap. And he has appeared in 19 games for 11 innings, and he's doing okay for us. J.A. Happ is not doing well. I don't know how much time he'll be around for us. Okay, it is time to take a look at the All-Star teams. It was Jim Thome beating Jose Bautista in the Home Run Derby, while we have Roy Halladay picking up the start for the AL, Rafael Soriano at closer, Brian McCann at catcher, Adrian Gonzalez at first, Jim Thome also, probably DH, Ben Zobrist at second. Pujols is playing third for Kansas City this season, hitting .315 right now with 18 home runs. He signed a big contract there, $193 million contract, 3 years and a player opt-out. That's probably good for Kansas City because they're going to want to dump that contract around then. Alexi Ramirez is at shortstop, Carl Crawford in left, Mike Cameron in center, and Vladimir Guerrero in right. In the NL, it is Justin Verlander getting the start, Rob Nen in the relief, Joe Mauer at catcher hitting .364 this season, doing great again, Joey Votto in first, Chase Utley at second, Evan Longoria in third, Hanley Ramirez at short, and Matt Holliday in left, Matt Kemp in center, and Ichiro gets it in right. This is only his first All-Star appearance, and he's not got any of the numbers needed, like the metrics at the moment, because of that. Even though he's led the league in hits so many times, he hasn't had an All-Star appearance. He's led the league in stolen bases once. He's had solid production, but I don't know if he'll make the Hall of Fame or not. It depends on how he can finish out his career. We have him for one more year. We'll probably keep him around for that one, and then we'll let him be on his way. So it is time to see, can this team pull it together or not to get to the playoffs? Well, it was a great second half for us. We actually finished 91-71, 4 games behind the Pirates, who took the division at 95 wins. The Phillies won 100. The Mets, like us, after dominating for a while of their division, are finding life difficult at the moment. The Giants won theirs by 5 games, so they made the playoffs just like they did in real life, where they ended up beating the Texas Rangers, who did not make the playoffs. We did get in the wild card, 9-up over the Cubs. We had a strong second half. The Yankees making it back to the playoffs for the first time in a while. The Tigers with 105 wins, dominating the division, 21 games over Cleveland. And the Angels beat out the A's, who the A's took the wild card. So when we check out the playoffs, we will see in the division series, we were able to beat the Phillies 3-1. We won the first, lost the second, came back to win the second and third. And David Ortiz, Big Papi, getting the MVP. We went 2-6 against them in the regular season, but we were able to win it behind Ortiz's .429 average on his 6 hits. Took us to the League Championship Series against the Giants, and we were able to hold them off and win it in 7. We dropped 2 early, then we came back to win 2, and then we lost game 5, but then we won game 6 and game 7 in some close ones where the bullpen actually helped us. And look who Ichiro, we're getting the World Series, are getting the League Series MVP, also hitting a home run in game 7 to do it for us. So that was another one. We were 3-3 in the regular season. Now notice runs against first in the NL this year because our defense was slightly better. And it was good enough. We had a more complete team and things were looking better for us. But that took us to the World Series against the Tigers, that 105-win Team Tiger, and we could not hold with them. We won game 2 to tie the series at 1-1, but then we lost by 2. We lost by 1 and got stomped by 7 in game 5. Even though we had 3 home runs, it was not enough. They must have all been solo shots. Adam Dunn gets the MVP after hitting 7 RBI, 1 home run only. But we just could not do anything against them. So let's take a look at our team here. See, runs scored, we were 11th, surprisingly. We stole bases, but pitching was great. The defense got slightly better throughout the year, and that made a world of difference in our bullpen. Rivera actually returned to Rivera form, what we were expecting to get from him. But Wainwright was great. Carpenter was good. Greinke was good. Hudson was good. Burley was good. So things were great for us. And Arthur Rhodes continuing to do great in the bullpen, but this might be his last chance to really do that. So let's take a look at the league leaders at the end of this. Gonzalez got the batting title at 340. Cabrera at 42 home runs, beating out Pujols. Adrian Gonzalez also 131 RBI. Elvis Andrus got 41 stolen bases, while Miguel Cabrera had a 105.7 OPS. Ben Zobrist with an 8.7 WAR. Angel Pagan got that 23-game hitting streak. Jared Weaver, a 2.85 ERA. Cliff Lee, 21 wins. Lincecum, 212 strikeouts. Rafael Soriano had 44 saves. And Roy Halladay with a 6.9 WAR. He did win the Cy Young for the Phillies in this season, so we'll see if he does that or not. Joe Mauer hitting 351. Got the batting title in the NL. Beating out Matt Holliday, who we had to let go. Jose Bautista, 42 home runs. Nick Swisher, 119 RBI, beating out the MVP for the Rangers in real life, Josh Hamilton, who also hit 330 with 33 home runs. He might have a claim for it in ours. Rajai Davis had 59 stolen bases. Holiday had a 101.3 OPS and a 9.6 WAR. I think he's going to get the MVP. Evan Longoria with 23-game hitting streak. Pedroia ended on an active 18-game one. Clayton Kershaw with a 2.35 ERA. Besting Kevin Millwood, still just shockingly. What did he do in 2010? A 5.1 ERA and 4-16 record. Not so here. Not so here. We've got Marco Estrada winning 19 games. Kershaw with 270 strikeouts. Just didn't get enough wins for the Giants. He was 17-3. Just missed out on the Triple Crown. Carlos Marmol got 42 saves to tie Mariano Rivera. And Zach Greinke with an 8.7 pitcher WAR. Really good job there. So let's take a look before we jump to the draft. Let's see who wins those awards and if they match up with anything in reality or not. Starting with the Gold Gloves in the AL, it was John Lester, Jonathan LaCroix, Adrian Gonzalez, Starlin Castro, Craig Counsell, Elvis Andrus, Ryan Sweeney, Peter Bourjos, and Chris Young. Bourjos was one of our guys that we traded away or let go or something. Oh, that's right. We traded him for Matt Holliday, which ended up not working out for us. In the NL, it was Jared Washburn, Jose Molina, wrong Molina, getting it that way at catcher, Adam LaRoche, Escobar, Scott Rowland again. What is that for him? Only his 4th one. Interesting, but he's got lots of all-stars. He's got, don't know if he's got the Hall of Fame numbers. Juan Uribe, Matt Holliday, Tsuyoshi Shinjo, sorry about that, and Shane Victorino. AL reliever of the year is Rafael Soriano unanimously for the A's. In the NL, it was Otsuka unanimously for the Astros. 11-3 with 9 saves, a 2.08 ERA, and 91 innings pitched. Silver Sluggers go to Brian McCann, Miguel Cabrera, 52 home runs, 121 runs, 120 RBI. Ben Zobrist at second. Pujols at third, still doing his thing. Pablo Sandoval, Carl Crawford, Coco Crisp, Lance Berkman, and Jim Thome. Hitting 37 home runs. What's that bring his total up to? 558. What did he end up with? 600, right? 612. He's got a shot at it. We'll see. Silver Sluggers in the NL go to Anibal Sanchez, Joe Mauer, Joey Votto, Chase Utley, Jose Bautista, Hanley Ramirez, Matt Holliday, Matt Kemp, and Ichiro is the only one for us picking one up. He is not going to get into the Hall at this rate just because he's just not getting the awards. He's leading in hits all the time, though. Rookie of the Year. So it was Neftali Feliz and Buster Posey in reality, but Posey got one vote here, hitting 291. Starlin Castro, though, 29 first place votes picking it up. In the NL, it was Strasburg with 24 first place votes, going 17-7 with 232 strikeouts. Cy Young went to Cliff Lee, beating out Roy Halladay. He had 21 first place votes, 3.25 ERA, 21-8 record. The NL, it was Kershaw beating out Greinke. Kershaw, though, deserved that when it seems like. And the AL, Ben Zobrist gets the MVP. What did he do in 2010? 2.5 WAR, 2.38 average. What did he do here? 307, 8.7 WAR, 100 RBI, 31 home runs. Okay, quite a bit different. And then Matt Holliday unanimously saying, look at me, you should have kept me, but $27 million was too steep for us. So we're actually going to be losing Francisco Cordero and Shannon Stewart and Delman Young this season. Let's take a look at then the first-year player draft. Bryce Harper's the big one here. Mookie Betts, Teoscar Hernandez, Ketel Marte, Joe Panic, not sure him, Jose Ramirez, Javier Baez, George Springer, Carter Capps, Marcus Semien. These are some big names out there. We are expected to take potentially Colton Wong. He played for the Cardinals in reality. Wouldn't be the worst if he fell to us because there's a lot of good players in this draft that will not fall to us. Noah Syndergaard's in it as well. Vogelbach's in it. Francisco Lindor, Trevor Story, Sonny Gray. There's some good players here, and we're probably not going to get any of them. So let's check out who the first player is to go on this list. Let's just do all the players. And going to the Minnesota Twins, it is Bryce Harper. Dodgers select Mookie Betts. Oh, that's fitting. Marlins get Marte. Jose Fernandez to the White Sox. Blake Snell goes to the Blue Jays. Trevor Story to the Reds. Noah Syndergaard to the Brewers. George Springer to the Rangers. Matt Harvey to the Orioles. Red Sox get Jason Adam. Jose Ramirez. Javi Baez is still out there, which means he'll probably get taken in this next pick. Nope. Yep, I was right. Washington takes him. Sonny Gray goes to the Mets. Brandon Nimmo to the Astros. Marcus Semien to the Braves. Seth Lugo goes to Colorado. Luke Skywalker Jackson goes to Seattle. Brandon Workman to the Diamondbacks. Teoscar Hernandez to the Padres. Carter Capps to the Cubs. Joe Panic to the Royals. Joel Pamps to Cleveland. Trevor Bauer was in here to the Rays. Joe Musgrove to the Giants. Francisco Lindor goes that far down to the A's. And then the Yankees take Tony Cingrani. We are said, hey, Jake Jaimar Candelario. Maybe. Who else is out here? CJ Crone. Let's go to batters. Not a bad one to have there, potentially at first base, but we have Ortiz. Let's see. Colton Wong is still there. Tapia? No. Who do we have here? Billy Burns? No. CJ Chrome, maybe. Travis Shaw? No, he just has 4 good years and then poof, gone. Let's take a look at pitchers. Not seeing anybody standing out there. What about starting pitchers? Seth Maness. But again, after 2017, just poof, disappears. All right, well, we're going to take Colton Wong. And then the Angels get Jeimer Candelario, Ken Giles to the Pirates, Travis Shaw to the Phillies, and Roberto Osuna to the Tigers to wrap up round one. So that means it's time for me to get through this offseason so we can get going with the 2011 season. We are ready for the 2011 season. It's not opening day. I accidentally went one game ahead, but that's okay. This is the season in real life we're hoping to repeat because the Cardinals won this year. They were led by David Freese winning the MVP that year in the World Series. Now, the MVP in real season for the regular season was Justin Verlander, who also won the Cy Young. Ryan Braun won the National League MVP while Kershaw got the Cy Young in the NL. And the AL Rookie of the Year, it was Jeremy Hellickson for the Rays. I'm not familiar with him. And then it was Craig Kimbrell in the National League for the Braves, notching 46 saves. We're going to hope Verlander does the same because we did trade for him, and he's off to a 1-0 start for us. And we traded away Tim Hudson, Oliver Drake, Salvador Perez, and $5 million. Perez we traded away because we do have Yachty, and we have Pierzynski, and we have Wilson Contreras, so I don't think we're too worried about that one. We brought in Joe Nathan for a one-year contract as well. So we have Verlander, Wainwright, Greinke, Carpenter, Burley as a rotation, Rivera at closer, who got roughed up apparently in his first outing. But we have Chris Sale, who is ready to go. He was great last season. He's going to get better for us. And then we have brought in Tony Gwynn to be a backup in the outfield, Tony Gwynn Jr., I should say. John Valentin to back us up in the infield. David Freese is also there, and Pierzynski. The lineup itself, the main one is Lofton, Ichiro, Beltre, Ortiz, who's getting better at defense there, 50 rating now. Aramis Ramirez at second, Marlon Byrd out in center, Jimmy Rollins at short, and Yachty at the catcher spot. As far as the Hall of Fame goes, before we kick this thing off, Jose Canseco got in on his first year. He had a total 585 home runs, which is 120 more than he got in real life, but he also played 4 more seasons for us. Tony Gwynn, first ballot Hall of Famer, lots of 200-hit seasons. He racked up 4,100 hits, including hitting 400 for us back in 1994. In real life, he had 3,100 hits, although he had a higher WAR, 72 to 66 in this, but he did have a few negatives along the way at the end of his career. And Greg Maddux, who also had a run with us, picked up 307 wins, 111 WAR, 2,800 strikeouts. In reality, he had 355 wins, 3,300 strikeouts, and a 132 WAR. So I'm not really sure why he didn't play quite as long, but that's a lot of wins that he was able to pick up. He also started a year earlier, but surprisingly, he didn't get any closer. So that's where we're at with this. We're going to jump ahead now and see how this season goes, hopefully with us having another run at the World Series. And yet again, we have a rough first half to the season as we are 43-49, 12.5 back behind the Chicago Cubs. The Phillies are 10.5 up over the Braves with 61 wins, and the Giants are 4 up over the Diamondbacks. We are also 8 games back in the wild card behind Arizona and Atlanta. In the AL, it is the Yankees 10 games up. They might actually make it back to a playoff. Cleveland is 1 game up over the Twins, and then you have the Rangers and the Angels tied 3 games up over the A's, with the Twins 3.5 up over the Tigers. The AL races are pretty tight there. As far as the league leaders go, Victor Martinez is hitting .394, Dan Uggla with 25 home runs and 72 RBI. Emilio Bonifacio has 41 stolen bases. Victor Martinez with a 1.011 OPS. Buster Posey's got the 5.1 WAR and a 17-game hitting streak. Omar Dahl with a 2.26 ERA. Roy Halladay with 11 wins. Cliff Lee with 140 strikeouts. Santiago Casilla with 24 saves. And Cliff Lee with a 3.8 pitcher WAR. Craig Kimbrell, the Rookie of the Year in real life, is sitting there with 20 saves, though. But he won't be Rookie of the Year because he played too much last season. In the NL, it's Matt Kemp hitting 349. Our former guy, Delman Young's decided to go off and be hitting 341, which he did hit 268 in real life. So, Josh Hamilton, Matt Kemp, and Willie Mopena all have 23 home runs. Mike Morse with 74 RBI, Brett Gardner 34 stolen bases, and Matt Kemp with a 1055 OPS. But Kemp also has a 5.4 batter WAR, and Dustin Pedroia with 19-game hitting streak. In the pitching categories, Ryan Vogelsong has a 2.12 ERA. Kershaw, the Cy Young winner in real life, has a 2.331. Jason Hamill with 13 wins, and Strasburg with 146 strikeouts. Rafael Betancourt has 28 saves, and CJ Wilson with a 4.7 pitcher WAR. I don't know what's going on with us, but we can't score. We're 10th in runs. We can't get on base. We steal bases okay. Our average is okay, but we are just not hitting the ball well. We're 6th in runs against. Things are actually pretty good. Defense, not the best. Zone rating's not great. We're not committing errors. We're just bleh. So unless things turn around, we're going to be in trouble. Verlander is not what we thought we were going to get. Adam Wainwright is doing fine. Greinke's struggling. Carpenter's doing okay. Burley's struggling. Rivera's doing great. Chris Sale's doing great. Joe Nathan's doing great. But we're just not getting things done here. So I don't know what's going to happen. It's not looking good for us. Hitting Ortiz is the only one doing well there. Ichiro's really struggling in what's going to be his final year for us. So that's disappointing. And Ramirez is not getting anything happening, even though he had 26 home runs and hit 306 with a 4.9 WAR in real life. Like these next 2 years, I thought would be pretty good years for him, which are his last 2 years with us. And then we'll be moving on, and that may help us as far as defense goes. But that's where we're at there. Let's take a look at the All-Star break. Josh Hamilton beat Dan Ugla in the home run derby. And we have, as far as the All-Stars go, Roy Halladay gets the start for the AL. Craig Kimbrell as well. Victor Martinez at catcher. Miguel Cabrera at first, hitting 347. We've got Ben Zobrist at second. David Wright at third. Ryan Zimmerman also. Starlin Castro at short. Ryan Braun, our MVP in real life, is there in left field. He's hitting 315, 16 home runs. He's got 54 RBI, slugging 516. Andrew McCutchen in center, and Lance Berkman in right. Larry Walker making it yet again for his 13th All-Star selection. This guy is definitely going to be a Hall of Famer when he calls it quits. He's already up to 3,600 hits and 580 home runs. What a career Walker's having here for his probably last season. In the NL, Greinke made it for us, but Kershaw gets the start. Verlander also made it for us. Rob Nin gets in there for the Cubs with 5 saves and a 2.38 ERA, so he's a setup man, it looks like. Rivera made it. Good job. He's 1-5, though. Joe Mauer at catcher. Ortiz made it, but Joey Votto gets a start, hitting 315, doing everything better, it looks like. Chase Utley at second. Jose Batista at third. Got 20 home runs. Troy Tulowitzki coming in there at short. Matt Holliday in left. Again, trying to show us what we're missing out on, apparently. Matt Kemp at center, and Jason Worth in right. So we're going to need a miracle this back half of the season to get anything and get into the playoffs. If not, let's tank and get somebody good. So we're going to see how things go. And with that, let's jump ahead. Well, we finished strong in the second half. Wasn't good enough, though. Unfortunately, it moved us up to where we're going to have a horrible draft pick. So that's unfortunate. And we ended up 5th in runs scored. So the bats came alive. Ortiz and Beltre really got it going. But from there, not so good. And then Aramis Ramirez never really amounted to much as far as this season goes. So that was disappointing. And we finished 11 games back behind the Cubs, who won at 98 games. The Phillies had 105 wins to best the Braves, who got the wild card, and the Giants were 10 up with 96 wins. The Yankees finally made the playoffs again, and the Tigers and the Twins and Cleveland in a playoff there, and tying, and then the Angels as well. That's right. We've got some new changes here going on. That's what's showing us. So in the World Series, it ended up being Minnesota defeating Yeah, Cleveland didn't make it, but now we're having another wild card added in 2012, I guess. The Twins ended up winning against the Braves, and the Twins winning their first championship since 1993, their fifth overall. We're still struggling to recreate that magic of the year 2000 for us. But look at this, the playoff MVP, Larry Walker, who apparently has one more year in him. He's just shy of turning 45, so he's going to play at least 1 year of this $21 million a year contract extension that he signed with them. When we check out the league leaders who won, Victor Martinez got the batting title at 371, Stanton with 42 home runs, Berkman 118 RBIs, Bonifacio 65 stolen bases, and Ryan Braun a 978 OPS, along with his 8 batter WAR. Posey and Trumbo both had 17-game hitting streaks. Kyle Loesch with a 2.90 ERA. Roy Halladay, Daniel Hudson, and Cliff Lee all had 18 wins, while Lee had 235 strikeouts. Santiago Casilla, 39 saves. Kimbrel was right behind him. Halladay with a 6.3 pitcher WAR. In the NL is Matt Kemp holding on to 347 average. Almost got the Triple Crown. 49 home runs for Tomei, though, and 144 RBI. Brett Gardner and Jose Reyes both had 49 stolen bases, beating out Ichiro's 44. Tomei with a 108 OPS. Really just amazing what he's doing here. Wouldn't he retire after 2012? He had 15 home runs in 2011. 49 here with an 8.8 WAR. He's up to 607 home runs, which he not far off from where he was, but man, he's got a bat going. Jose Bautista with a 9.4 batter WAR. Matt Kemp 21-game hitting streak. Kershaw a 2.50 ERA, while Felix Hernandez had 19 wins. Strasburg with 242 strikeouts. Betancourt had 49 saves, and Mike Messina at 42 had a 7.1 pitcher WAR. He wasn't pitching at this point, so they're riding those last 3 years with the Yankees really nicely for the Cubs, who have had him since 2004. And he struggled a little bit, but now he's back with 3 solid seasons in a row, and it's paying off for the Cubs. Let's take a quick look at our award winners. We have at the Gold Gloves, Lester, Jonathan LaCroix, Albert Pujols. Pujols getting his second Gold Glove there. Alcides Escobar, Brett Laurie, Elvis Andrus, Angel Pagan, John Jay, and Melky Cabrera. In the NL, it's Corey Lupke, Jose Molina, again, not Yachty. Todd Helton, still going strong, 38. Well, not going strong, but he's going for the Rockies. Jed Lowry, Juan Uribe, Placido Polanco, Nick Swisher, Franklin Gutierrez, and Adam Jones. AL of the Year reliever goes to Billy Wagner, who almost tried to sign him, but we went another route, unfortunately. Craig Kimbrell did get 10 first-place votes. Sergio Romo sneaking in between. So Billy Wagner with his 5 saves. So he was a setup man. He had 108 strikeouts. The NL, it was Akinora Atsuka with 23 first-place votes, beating out Carlos Marmol. Rob Nin back up there, but he's out for 4 months. Silver Sluggers go to Victor Martinez, Miguel Cabrera, Ben Zobrist, Ryan Zimmerman, Starlin Castro, Ryan Braun, Peter Borjos, Lance Berkman, and David Wright. While in the NL, it was Corey Lupke, Carlos Santana, David Ortiz, Chase Utley, Jim Thome at third, Troy Tulowitzki, Josh Hamilton, Matt Kemp, and Delman Young, showing us what we're missing out on. Best Rookie of the Year goes to Mark Trumbo, who had 35 home runs and 114 RBI, while slugging .547 for the White Sox. In the NL, it was Salvador Perez, hitting .290 with 13 home runs, and flipping us one there, showing, I think Verlander's going to pay off in the end. The Cy Young goes to Halladay with 30 first-place votes, unanimously taking it in the AL. And then Kershaw, just like in real life, winning it in the NL with a 2.50 ERA and going 15-7. Ryan Braun, just like in real life, wins it for the Red Sox, hitting .330 with 36 home runs. Had an 8 WAR to lead the league and 978 OPS. In the NL, it was Matt Kemp unanimously taking it home. 2011 was his big year, having an 8-1 WAR. He had a 9-2 here, 43 home runs, led the league in hits and in average. Well, let's take a look at the player pool here. Top names are Yasiel Puig, Anthony Rendon, Jose Fernandez. That's a sad story there. Let's follow how he does. Who knows how special he could have potentially been before that boating accident. I think it was a boating accident. Yoenis Cespedes, Corey Seager, Carlos Correa, Trevor Story, Garrett Cole, Brandon Nimmo, and Jesse Winker. Now, we will be picking down in 28th. And it is expected for Jason Adam, whoever that is, to fall to us. So I don't think we're going to get anybody of note in this one, but we will find out. Yasiel Puig picked to go first. Interesting. So let's start this draft and see who goes off the board. Byron Buxton's in this one as well. Anthony Rendon, great to have for a little while. Milwaukee's going to take Jose Fernandez first. Then the Dodgers take Garrett Cole. Corey Seager to the Marlins. Puig goes to the Blue Jays. The White Sox take Rendon. Kevin Gausman to the Mets. Trevor Story to the Reds. Tyler Glasnow to the Orioles. Yu Darvish to the Mariners. Carlos Correa to the Padres. Boston gets Luis Severino. Edwin Diaz goes to the Pirates. The Royals get Carl Edwards Jr. Jason Adam to the Nationals. Max Fried to the Astros. Byron Buxton to the Reds. He slipped quite a bit there. Max Muncy goes to the Rays. Jesse Winker to the Astros. Zach Eflin to the Rangers. Josh Hader going to the A's. Brandon Nimmo to the Red Sox. Hobie Milner to the Rockies. Clay Holmes to the White Sox. I was hoping Matt Olson would fall to us. He was still there. Went number 24 to the Angels. The Giants take Ross Stripling. Cleveland gets Alex Wood. Matt Barnes goes to the Diamondbacks. They say we should take Lucas Giolito. Josh Bell. I think we got to go with Josh Bell. He's going to give us our best chance, I think. Let's see. We'll see if anybody else is out there. Yoenis Cespedes. Not bad. David Dahl. No, just a couple seasons in Colorado. Joey Gallo. I don't want to just have a bunch of strikeouts. That's the only problem there. We definitely need some hitting. Jorge Soler. Bring us a bat. But Josh Bell's going to do the same. Carson Kelly. Well, let's see if there's any pitchers out there that Franmil Reyes. Nope. Let's see if there's any pitchers out here worth going for. Jose Alvarado, Giovanni Gallegos, but that we're looking at relief. So I think we're going to go with Josh Bell. And then we'll see. New York's going to take Lucas Giolito. The Twins get German Marquez. And Taylor Rogers goes to the Tigers. Lance McCullers Jr. to the Giants. The Cubs take Yoenis Cespedes. And the Braves get David Dahl. A lot of first-round picks. And Drew Steckenrider wraps up the first round for the Phillies. So we're going to wrap this season up here in this episode. We will be back on the next episode for the 2012-2013 seasons. We are getting ever closer, 14 seasons away from getting up to modern day. We'll see what we have in 2025, and if we have any kind of World Series that matches the one we just saw in real life. What a World Series, what a Game 7 that thing was. That was a exciting series for baseball. So we'll see what we have as we wrap up this adventure through time. And I want to thank you all for joining me. Take care, and we'll see you on the next episode.